Narendra Modi's dangerous moment, says The Economist. India and Pakistan should stop playing with fire. Since the feuding neighbors tested nuclear weapons in the late 1990s, neither had dared send fighter jets across the frontier until this week. In the short run, Mr. Modi shares the responsibility to stop a disastrous escalation because he faces an election in April. He faces the hardest and most consequential calculations they could come to define his premiership. He has taken to repeating a catchphrase from the film Uri, which portrays a commando raid he ordered against Pakistan in 2016 in response to a previous terrorist attack as a moment of chin-jutting grit. Chin-jutting grit. The ambiguity of Mr. Modi's beliefs only deepens the anger. He campaigned at the election in 2014 as a modernizer who would bring jobs and prosperity to India. But his critics charge all his talk of development and reform is simply the fig leaf for a lifelong commitment to a divisive Hindu nationalist agenda. A member of his cabinet presented garlands of flowers to a group of Hindu men who had been convicted of lynching a Muslim for selling beef. And Mr. Modi has suspended the elected government of Jammu and Kashmir, India's only Muslim majority state, and used force to suppress protests there against the central government, leading to horrific civilian casualties. It is India's Gaza Strip. Mr. Modi has made a career of playing with fire. His first rose to prominence as Chief Minister of Gujarat when the state was racked by anti-Muslim pogroms in 2002. Although there is no evidence he orchestrated the violence, he has shown no compunction about capitalizing on the popularity it won him in Hindu nationalist circles. With a difficult election ahead, he may think he can pull off the same trick again by playing the tough guy with Pakistan, but without actually getting into a fight. However, the price of miscalculation does not bear thinking about. Western governments are pushing for a diplomatic settlement at the UN. If Mr. Modi really is a patriot, he will now step back. That's The Economist. In my article, I said, the Indian subcontinent entered unprecedented territory. We witnessed the first tit-for-tat airstrikes between India and Pakistan since the 1971 war. So it really is unprecedented. I said the first casualty in any war is the truth. And when I dialed up Indian and Pakistan TV, it was mind-boggling. The decibel level was at 11. It's already very loud. I said planes were shot down. An Indian Air Force pilot, wing commander, who sports the most compelling handlebar moustache I've ever seen, was captured and then released. The Indian Army said they killed hundreds of militants in their attack, but has provided no evidence. And Pakistan, in a rather subtle feint, is suing the Indians for eco-terrorism, saying that they hit nothing but some ancient pine trees. I also said Modi is up against an election, and his entire political raison d'etre has been built on the basis of Make India, or is it Hindutva, great again. I said he cannot back down, or it will be a Jimmy Carter type moment. On the other side, we have a neophyte Prime Minister Imran Khan, whom I must admit has displayed a very deft touch, and it seems most people think the same. Arundhati Roy, writing in the Huffington Post, said Kashmir is potentially the most dangerous place on earth, the flashpoint for nuclear war. In this photograph, Indian Border Security Force personnel in brown and Pakistani Rangers in black take part in the beating retreat ceremony. Check out the moustache again. The latest Kashmir crisis proved that India, not Pakistan, is the real rogue state, says Andrew Korybiko in Eurasia Future. The Kashmir crisis of 2019 will go down in history as the moment when international perceptions about India and Pakistan were stunningly reversed. It's a highly volatile moment. I think people are right to be worried about Modi. He is an escalator in chief. And we'll have to keep an eye on it. And as Arundhati Roy said, it is the most dangerous place in the world.